Hello, my name is Doug with Intuit's Lacerte Tax. The following video explains how to enter data from a K-1 form from a pass-through entity such as a 1120S corporation, a 1065 partnership, or a 1041 fiduciary. Please be aware that if you prepare the tax return for any of these three types of pass-through entities and also prepare the individual's 1040 return for the members, you can use the K-1 transfer feature in the Lacerte tax program, which is covered in a separate video training course. To provide you as much help as we can to correctly report the K-1 information, we have made data entry as straightforward and simple as possible. Plus, we have content-related help right on the input screen to give you the information you need when you need it. First, I want to show you a useful bit of information you can pull right from the IRS website if it was not provided by the K-1 preparer. Many times, only the front page of the K-1 form is provided by the K-1 preparer. However, on the back of the K-1 is a code guide that explains most of the K-1 boxes and where to report them on the 1040 return. As you can see, the page 2 code guide tells you what the entry is in each entry box, and it will give you guidance where to enter that entry in the 1040 return. In those instances where the entry requires additional guidance from the K-1 preparer, the code guide will direct you to the preparer's instructions on the supplemental pages of the K-1 form. Know this little tip. Let's look at the K-1 input screens. We will open a client file with K-1 pass-through data to be entered. From the content screen, I'll open screen 20 pass-through K-1s. First, let's go over the layout of the input screen. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have the navigation pane split into three boxes. The top box allows us to view all of the K-1s lumped together without regard to the type of entity it came from. This is acceptable if we have only a few K-1s to deal with. However, if you have a client that has interest in many pass-through activities, we provide you the ability to filter through them by type of activity: partnership, S-corp, fiduciary, or real estate mortgage investment conduits. This is especially useful with large numbers of pass-through activities. The next box down in the navigation pane is the listing of K-1 activities for the type of filter applied in the upper box. Moving down the navigation pane, we come to the section Jump To box. This tool is especially useful on the K-1 input screen because it will quickly take you to the correct input section in the right-hand interactive window, eliminating the need to scroll and look for a specific input section. In the interactive window on the right, Part 1 is the information about the activity. Part 2 is where we enter information about the partner, shareholder, or beneficiary. Next is Part 3, where the remaining information is input. Notice how we have numbered each input line to correspond with the same line or box on the K-1 form. In most cases, you will just enter the amount in the corresponding input field in the program. Now for those one-offs and special inputs. Let me offer some rules that can save you time when entering K-1 information. If you are unsure of the intended use of an input field, just do this. Click your mouse into the field to make it active. Then open the Help Me pane at the bottom of the screen if it is collapsed. The section labeled with the same name as the field your cursor is in will tell you what and how the field is to be used. Many times it will also provide additional hyperlinks to more information that is just a click away. Please be aware, there are those rare occasions that a pass-through entity will include an item that is not reportable within the defined boxes provided on the K-1 input screen. In those cases, the preparer should provide a supplemental information page to the K-1 with information and instructions on how and where to report the item on the 1040. In these cases, you may have to enter the amount in an appropriate field elsewhere in the program other than the K-1 input screen. So just be aware that you can report amounts on other input screens that come from a K-1. In these cases, I would suggest tying it back to the K-1 it came from using the supporting detail box with a description. One of the important features of Lacerte Tax is its ability to track the partnership K-1 recipient's capital account and loss limitations. Let's take a look at setting up the capital account for the partnership activity. In the section Jump To box, scroll down to find the basis limitation listing and click it to be taken to that input section in the interactive window on the right. First, we must enter the beginning basis. Notice this entry is marked mandatory for the program to be able to calculate and track basis and losses. You should also note that if the client has depleted their basis in the activity, the program indicates a -1 should be entered to indicate a beginning balance of 0. Once the basis is entered in the program, it will calculate the new basis and pro forma the new basis amount forward to next year's return for this client. Likewise, where we have no basis left and we are carrying a loss forward, we can enter basis loss carryovers. First, find the basis carryovers in the section Jump To box and click it. Now the right-hand window is at the input section to make the necessary entries, and it will calculate and carry forward the new basis or loss amount. Thank you for watching this training video. I hope it has provided you with the information you need to quickly enter K-1 pass-through data in a 1040 return. For more training videos and time-saving features, go to the Lacerte training website at taxpro.intuit.com/Lacerte.